As promised, President Carter today stopped the export of high-technology equipment to Russia. White House Press Secretary Jody Powell says that Carter went far beyond his original plan. Items like computers and new equipment to make cars are included on the list. Christopher Jones has more now from Washington.
Just a few weeks ago here at the State Department, when the only discussions that mattered centered around the situation in Iran, high government officials claimed they had the support of the world community. But at times, they looked like they had their doubts about those statements. But now with the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, those officials are saying the same thing, and this time, they're true believers.
The aim is to deal with the very real threats posed no longer by the potential of Soviet aggression, but by the reality of Soviet aggression in the instance of Afghanistan, and without for a moment trying to pretend that we can read what the Soviet Union had in mind when it went into Afghanistan or what it intends beyond that, to also deal with the reality of the situation that that aggression has created, which is heightened insecurity, a sure sense by many of the nations in the region that what has happened to Afghanistan is as likely an event for some of them.
Meanwhile, as the official State Department was making its pronouncements, the man responsible for United States foreign policy in the 70s arrived at Georgetown University to speak to a symposium at the Foreign Service School. We spoke with him there.
We now have the obligation to make sure that the Soviet Union cannot continue to threaten other countries. And at the same time, we have to keep open possibilities for coexistence. That has always been the problem, and that remains to be the problem.
Is détente still alive as well?
I think détente as a word by itself. At this phase, the bigger national problem is to organize a strategy on a long-term basis that has bipartisan support that will prevent a continuation of the erosion that has been taking place in recent years.
Sir, one final question on my part. Do you agree with, getting it down to the bottom line, do you agree with the President when he talks about the relative severity of this crisis? Do you regard it as a severe crisis?
I think it is a severe crisis. I agree with his description, and I agree with the measures he has put forward on Friday night.
State Department spokesman HODDING Carter says this is not a confrontation between the Soviet Union and the United States, but between the Soviet Union and the rest of the world. And he says that the aggression cannot be carried off without price, without penalty. Christopher Jones, Channel 5 News at the State Department.